Yo, Adult Gohan did get a few upgrades this patch, so let's take an in-depth look at them and their influence on some combos, pressure, neutral, and other Gohan tips along the way from most to least useful. Starting off with his Ki Blast change on the ground, pressing S plus forward halts his momentum backwards. Same thing in the air, so think of these as 3S or J6S. So these actually have a couple implications even combo wise. You can add them before J2H for a bit more damage, but now at level 0, Adult Gohan can actually get sliding knockdown with J6S, J214L. However, this link is pretty easy on smalls or bigs, having to delay the JLs and delay the J6S, but is insanely hard on mids. The most consistent way is by delaying the JLs and jumping straight up, delaying JLs and J6S so Gohan is above them, but even then the timing is still super tricky on mids. It feels like a JL JH rejump type of link. Might be the first time I've ever seen a combo be easier for smalls and bigs. Oh my god, Gohan, here we go again. If you do want to risk it, this can be used to get a bit more damage on his mid screen being practical optimal rejump, even though delay JL J6S JH does more damage but also doesn't work on everyone. And yeah, it even works when scaled, but again, it's not really that worth it, to be honest, for how hard it is. However, it do be very useful for Super Dash Confirms or Vanish Confirms, even adding the Beam Rejump link to the Vanish Confirm, since not having sliding knockdown with these stray hits were very annoying with level 0 Gohan. That was probably the most annoying thing playing Gohan at level 0, not being able to get sliding knockdown. And you can find yourself in some situation where holding onto that half a bar can make all the difference, allowing you to level up as well. Although in general though, the EX version is still more consistent than this link. This can also be used to increase his DRN to H output, but again, unless if it's on GT or Z Broly, it might not be worth risking, since you get sliding knockdown from these situations as well from JH. But J6S JH also knocks down only on bigs, so be careful about that. In the Kona, it's just nice to add after heavies on shorter combos and stuff, and be careful on some longer loops, but you can fit it in here for some confirms as well, like this DP one where I'm adding the J6S into Super Dash into 2H's, just layering the combo a bit more to optimize it a bit more. But in the corner, pretty much still sticking to his old optimal corner BMBs with a few Ki Blasts here and there basically. At level 1+, this actually does more damage than doing the Kicks J2H extension and is much easier, but it just doesn't look as cool. And I'm sure more cool forward Ki Blast combos will be found in the future for some Gohan sauce. Now that we're done with combos, let's talk about defense real quick. So, as you know, fuzzy mashing 2S is hella strong to avoid many offensive options as Gohan. It can still be frame trapped, but it's just so fast that it's hard to counter. The thing is though, 2S brings you way back, leading to inconsistent confirm options even when he's level 1+ besides Vanish, but that takes a bar, until 3S came. Since you get the same back push but closer, you can actually just Super Dash Confirm every time meterlessly at any levels. And since you can get sliding knockdown at level 0 now, this becomes even more useful. It even allows you to go into this rejump starter off of Super Dash, even at level 0 again, into any continuations you want, so you can get creative, you know, Gohan stay creative. And all the other cool confirms are just much easier and much more consistent to pull off with 3S compared to 2S. However though, downside is that it is harder to mash 3S while you block, since you could mash 1S for the further one, holding 1 blocks, and pressing S during the gaps are easier, but pressing 3 is the opposite directional blocking, so it leaves you way more vulnerable compared to 1 depending on your controller, so be careful with that. It can still be nice to quickly fuzzy mash after their first jab if they like to alternate a lot on that first jab between DR, 6M and other options. Then you can switch into 1S to be more safe later on in their string if you're worried about a command grab or something like that. And since you actually don't jump back as far, this also has a downside, is that some tools can still reach you from here. Mastering 1S is still stronger defensively, but 3S is more efficient for that character mastery. Neutral wise, the previous patch allowed us to spam these safe Ki Blasts basically, but now you can combine JS and J6S for different outcomes. So theoretically, you could stay in zone 2 with double J6S, even after forward approaches to fake those out and bait a 2H out or something. Fully retreat with JSS as usual. Stay in zone 1 with these as pokes. Retreat a zone, then stay in that zone. Retreat after staying still with J6S. All while pouring kicks, dashes, everything into layer his neutral as before discussing in my neutral guides. But honestly, I don't know how useful this can get, since in theory you can accomplish a lot, like maintaining pressure and locking them close with your assist and positional advantage, but there's always super dash and things to worry about which become more risky if you stay close and don't actually move back. Even on pressure, 2S has always been a good way to retreat, where you can layer in kicks or baits or even land 5M and be in range for that. So 3S doesn't really provide anything extra in that aspect besides being closer for jabs and DR, although this is just less safe in general too. Speaking of pressure though, you can now 2M into 3L. This might not seem like much, but building off my previous pressure guys, a really strong pressure pattern is with his auto combo as it loops back into his safe 2L. So before, you either did 2L into a reset or frame trap 3L, which can also be a reset or frame trap into 2M, but after 3L 2M, you can only cancel into heavies, meaning it was hard to hit confirm the 2M. I found myself always doing 2M 5H since I could beam after for more damage on hit or vanish on block, but then 2H will be better on block since it has safer cancels and stuff like that, but less damage on hit. Now if we switch that order up, we can get auto combo reset or trap into 2M low trap into 3L reset or trap. That gives us time to hit confirm the low 2M or even itself since it's multi-hitting. That way it'll be easier to make decisions and confirm while still being able to safely end on your last frame trap, which you couldn't before if that last frame trap was 2M. Even mid-screen, it can be paired with 3S for interesting confirms that are just way better than the simple 5H confirm. Another normal that was changed was 3H, which can now be confirmed with 5H and more practically 2H. This can help for manual pressure or even confirms mid-screen. But what's really nice about this is with Oki, 3H on Oki can be nice and meaty to time their getup as it also covers up tech like Broly's 2L but slower. As cool as this is, the only way to confirm it is with a whole super jump cancel on reaction. It's nice because if they block your plus, it can continue pressure that way with the advantage, but now you can 2H, which is much easier on reaction than jump canceling. And that can even be useful on block for basic stuff, so it's like an OS if you don't really want to react, and just autopiloting it, so it's safer to be wrong, making this Oki more valid. Another buff is that there's also this auto combo range buff on Whiff. It can actually help to hit confirm if a part wastes, like if 2L is too far when pressuring to frame trap, or it can even help with some post vanish routes, I guess. I don't know, it's just like a weird change to be honest. There's all the sparking changes, but practically it just means that you can do those old level 7 combos at level 0 spark. Although it's slightly different state, you'll notice that the cancels don't really work the same as level 7. And obviously it doesn't do as much damage since you don't have the damage buffs from each level all the way up to 7. What is different though is that it also allows you to cancel the same specials into different versions of each other, which Gohan couldn't do before even at level 7. So you can do LDP into MDP into EXDP all back to back to back. This could lead to more damage output and just more routes, but because of this there's a downside. If you special cancel for the loops too early, you might mess it up and get light DP instead of the light kicks in the air, so you have to delay your timing a bit more. Now at level 7 you always have this one sparking property where you can cancel specials into different versions of itself. I'll let y'all have fun with this one and explore the combos for yourself. But something else that's practical that you can do in Spark is his light DP plus Super Dash, since it lets you cancel specials with Super Dash now. Super Dash after the anti-air DP helps to hit confirm. The optimal way can be using EX legs to extend into beam and etc. And on block, if they're jumping and you hit the DP from under them, it can lead to very trippy left-right mix that you won't even know where you're landing, being able to air dash as well if they're airborne for the advantage and mixing it up on top of that. So it's a good defensive tool that's even stronger offensively on hits and on block. But it's not as free if they're grounded on block, as they can 2H the Super Dash after the LDP, so be careful about that. But oddly enough, level 7 doesn't let you cancel special into Super Dash though, but everything else is the same, but you just can't do this DP thing without Spark. And his final noteworthy change is that he can link a special after level 1 once he's level 7. The most practical use is doing level 1 delay EXDP with L legs JDR for sliding knockdown, but I know y'all Gohan mains don't mind the soft knockdown, although this does give some extra damage on top of the sliding knockdown. But it does scale the following super, so his level 3 afterwards wouldn't do as much damage. You can't get this if you start with a DR though, as for all combos, since theoretically you did start this combo with a DR, so you can't use it twice in the same combo. And don't forget his level 1 is also framed for invo like everyone else. Thank y'all for watching. That about covers everything. Hope y'all learned something new. Share your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.